America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Waltz. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. All they had to do was say, we fucked up. That's it. All they had to say was, when this story broke a couple days ago, Hegseth and Waltz and Rubio and Vance, all they had to do was come out and say, we were wrong, we fucked up, let's make sure it never happens again. That's all they had to say. There's so much that just broke this morning. Hello, TikTok. And I'm not gonna, spend an hour on this, what we call a group chat, massive security breach story scandal. I just want to cover it from a couple of angles. And that's the most important one. That's where I wanted to start. When this story broke 2 days ago, and we found out, when the country and the world found out, that America's Secretary of Defense, National Security Advisor, Secretary of State, CIA Director, Head of Intelligence, Vice President, like 17 people in all, were on unclassified devices, like in a public chat, discussing highly sensitive, classified military operations. When this story broke, everybody knew, oh, that's a fuck up. Uh-oh, that's bad, that's wrong. Like, we all knew that. They all knew that. Trump knew that. Pete Hegseth knew that. You and I knew that. When this story broke and we saw what it was, oops, classified information, and you're on like some sort of online party group chat talking about our battle plans. Hello? That's wrong. And even though we live in a country where we're so fucking tribal, right? We're so partisan, so tribal that half the country can't just admit it was wrong. All they had to do when this story broke, the people who did wrong, Pete Hegseth, Mark Waltz, Rubio, all of them. And by the way, they accidentally invited a reporter into this group chat. All they had to do from the beginning was say, we messed up. Bad. We will make sure it won't happen again. They didn't say that. In fact, they said the exact opposite. Beginning yesterday, they went after the reporter. They actually tried to make the reporter the bad guy. They learned from Trump, and they all lied and attack. And they went after the reporter. And and Tulsi Gabbard and the CIA director, I'm forgetting his name. Under oath yesterday, Radcliffe, under oath yesterday, they said this wasn't classified information. And the reporter that they accidentally invited into this group chat talking about classified U.S. military operations, they went after him. They attacked his integrity. They attacked his veracity. And they said it was all a hoax. And they said the information wasn't classified. You follow me? Instead of doing the right thing, we fucked up, we were wrong, they dared this reporter to put out what he saw, what he was privy to on those unclassified devices. And son of a gun, the Atlantic reporter, Jeffrey Goldberg, he put it out this morning. He put it out this morning. Can you blame him? Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, they all tried to make this reporter the bad guy. Like Pete Hegseth, they set up this group chat with all of our security and intelligence and defense principles talking about classified material. They're doing it right on Signal, on unclassified devices. Anybody and anybody can get on there, and they accidentally let a reporter on there, and they tried to turn the reporter into the bad guy, and they said it's bullshit. None of this information was classified. So the reporter put out the information this morning, and it looks pretty damn classified to me. And I'm no military expert. I'm no intelligence expert, but there it is right there in this public thread. There's Pete Hegseth giving specific operational details for a military operation, a United States military operation that was about to commence in Yemen. Bunch of our fighter pilots were going to bomb the hell out of the Houthis and go after specific targets. And Hegseth put on this group chat specific details of when the planes would take off and where the planes would go and what types of planes and what types of bombs and where our targets were at what time and what the weather was like. Basically giving a game plan for what we were about to do in a couple hours in Yemen. Keith, do we have that? Do we have a sampling of that? A sampling of the group text? I mean, it laid out in detail when our pilots were going to take off, where they were going to fly to, what enemy targets they were going to hit. And Pete Hegseth put all of this out, like in the public domain. And you're telling me this isn't classified information? Telling the world what we're going to do. This is like telling putting out our plans for D-Day a day or so before D-Day. A day or so. There it is. Thanks, Keith. Again, in no particular order. 11:44. This is part of what the Atlantic reporter put out, because he was accidentally put on this group thread that Hegseth and all of them set up. And here's the Secretary of Defense putting out operational security information. Time now, 11:44 Eastern time. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for mission launch. 12:15 F-18s launch. First strike package. 13:45 trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is his known location, so it should be on time. Also strike drones launch. MQ-9s. 14:10 more F-18s launch. Second strike package. 14:15 strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. On and on and on it goes. Detailed, classified military operation information about a United States military operation that was going to commence in 2 hours. And the Secretary of Defense puts this information out on an unsecured device to an unsecured public group text thread chat, whatever you want to call it. This broke this morning. If that's not classified information, ow, then I don't know what is. Putting out detailed, specific details about an upcoming attack. Where our fighter pilots were going to fly, what they were going to drop, and where and when. Everybody listening to me right now, even all of you on TikTok, even all of you MAGA, Pete Hegseth should resign. Pete Hegseth should be fired. He put the lives of U.S. fighter pilots at risk. He puts out basically their plan of attack a couple hours before they go on attack. If this had gotten into the hands of the enemy, the Houthis in Yemen, any of the Houthis allies, Russia, by the way, somebody on the group thread, what's his name, Witkoff, our Trump special envoy was on this group thread getting this information while he was in Moscow. If this information, instead of getting into the hands of a reporter in this country, a responsible reporter in this country who did not put this information out until after the attack, if this had gotten into anybody else's hands, our fighter pilots might damn well be dead. So when I say the Secretary of Defense should resign, he should. He stupidly and arrogantly and carelessly put the lives of our fighter pilots at risk. He ought to resign. He ought to be fired. This morning, a couple Defense Department folks said, so you understand TikTok and everybody, MAGA, you still with me? MAGA. Do you understand, like Defense Department officials saying this morning when the classified information came out, military Defense Department officials saying if anyone in uniform put that stuff out, did what Hegseth did, they'd be court-martialed. If anybody in uniform in our military did this, they would be court-martialed. Say military people. But again, what's and everybody's asking me, will anybody be held accountable? Will anybody be held accountable? I was on a radio interview, I think yesterday, and somebody asked that question, like, will Trump hold Hegseth or Waltz or any of these people accountable? I said, hell no. Donald Trump has never been held accountable for anything his entire life. He's never been held accountable for any wrongdoing his entire life. Hell, Donald Trump tried to overthrow an American election and he was never held accountable. He ain't going to hold anybody accountable. He's not going to hold anybody accountable here. Not even close. But what's important is, in Trump world, like, they're so stupid. Hegseth and Waltz and Tulsi Gabbard and Radcliffe, all these people yesterday, under oath and not under oath, going after the reporter and trying to spin this story to somehow make it seem like what they did was good and it wasn't classified information. And so the reporter puts the stuff out today and it's classified information. So by the way, Tulsi Gabbard lied under oath. Radcliffe lied under oath. But just the fact that everybody in Trump world, from the moment this story broke, they've lied about it and they've attacked the other side. And as we've said before, that's always been Trump's book, right? Donald Trump has never, ever in his entire life admitted wrongdoing. Donald Trump in his entire life has never, ever said, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Donald Trump has never, ever said those words, I was wrong. Right. And he's president. Right. And we put him there again. Right. So like we said, the American people said, we don't care that we got somebody in the White House who isn't man enough to ever say he's wrong or ever apologize or ever accept any accountability. But here's the thing. In Trump world, everybody around Trump has learned that those are the rules. When you do something wrong, and all of America knows that what went down here was wrong, but in Trump world, when you do something wrong, never admit wrongdoing. It is a cardinal sin. In Trump world, it's a cardinal sin to say I was wrong. And see, the problem is we got half the country, MAGA, who thinks like that's a sign of strength. That's you're strong, you're tough. That's John Wayne. I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong, man. If for somebody who can never admit they're wrong, that's a fucking weak ass. That's a fucking wussy, right? Strong men and strong women, when they do wrong, they can acknowledge that they've done wrong. They can apologize. Trump and Trump's people are the antithesis of strong men and strong women. I fucked up. Oh, in Trump world, you can never say that. You can never say, hey, it's on me. It's on me. Will Trump hold anybody accountable? The Atlantic Reporter didn't want to put this stuff out today. Do you understand, MAGA, why he put it out? Because the Trump team yesterday dared him to. The Trump team yesterday said nothing in that group chat was classified. And the Trump team yesterday said the reporter's a bad dude. This is all a hoax. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, the reporter this morning called their bluff and he put it out. And there it is, all out there for the world to see. A minute by minute detailed description of a pending military operation. The lives of U.S. military members were put at risk. Our fighter pilots could have died, been killed because of what Hegseth did and all the rest of them. But in the last 48 hours, obviously, in the last 48 hours, we've heard none of, I was wrong, I fucked up, this won't happen again. We've had no accountability. And so now the American people in the world can see literally the classified material information that was on the group text. And so what will happen again now that it's all out, Team Trump will just double down. They'll just double down. Hoax, hoax, hoax. You'll probably hear the word hoax on Fox News 744 times today. You remember how we've always talked about that Donald Trump is the exact opposite of how we all raised our children. We raised our children, you raised your children to not be like Donald Trump, to be the opposite of Donald Trump. You know how come I know that? TikTok, you know how come I know that? Because you taught your children like I taught my children, when you make a mistake, when you do something wrong, be responsible. Accept responsibility. Takes a big man, takes a big woman to apologize. Do the right thing. Say you're sorry. That's how you raised your kids. That's how I raised my kids. Donald Trump is the antithesis of that. And now everybody in Trump world is the antithesis of that. And so here we are. Final point on this. Fox News and Trump's media is already putting out. They're already trying to make the case that this information, the material out today, right, the detailed information, what planes were going off, when our planes were going off, where our planes were flying, the targets our planes were going to hit, down to the minute, right? So Fox News and all of Donald Trump's media cheerleaders are going to try to make this seem like that's not a big deal. Here's the problem. Half the country won't think it's a big deal. The half of the country that watches Fox News today and listens to right-wing talk radio today, the world that I come from, they're going to get just one bullshit, dishonest side to this story. This is such a bigger problem, gang. TikTok, this is such a bigger problem. This media world we live in. Elon Musk, the wealthiest guy on the planet with the biggest social media platform on the planet, and he'll lie and he'll bullshit about this, and he won't do the right thing, and he won't say, wow, it's really bad that Pete Hegseth and everybody put this information out before the attack. Our pilots could have been killed. No, they'll all follow Trump's marching orders and put out disinformation. And where we should live in a country where the American people, all of us, just get the basic facts and the basic truth. Here's what the Secretary of Defense put out on unclassified devices that included a reporter who was invited to be part of this group chat. Here's what the Secretary of Defense put out. I'll just show you what he put out. And the American people could decide for themselves how bad and wrong it is. But we don't live in that kind of a country anymore. And half of our country on a daily basis doesn't get the truth and just gets a bunch of bullshit. I know people are asking me, come on, Joe, will somebody's head roll? Will Hegseth's head roll? Remember this, Trump's a coward. Trump never fires anybody. Trump has other people fire people. Maybe Hegseth will be pressured to resign. Pete Hegseth should resign. I know he's a young guy and he's a punk and he's in over his head. But what Pete, I'll close with this. Two thoughts. Again, based on what we just learned this morning, if any American in uniform did this, they'd be court-martialed immediately. Based on what the Secretary of Defense did, based on what we now know he did, he put the lives of our fighter pilots at great risk. He should resign. And if not, he should be fired. And every Democrat out there, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer this morning, any and every Democrat out there is calling for Hegseth to be fired, to resign or be fired. I wanted to get to this other story quickly because this bothers me. And I want to start it and say it like this, TikTok. I have found the one issue that everybody listening to me right now will agree with. Like, we're looking for, let's hold our hands, unity, no divided America. Let's heal the divide. Let's find some common ground. Here's some common ground. I found the one issue that everybody listening right now should agree with me on. Every American should say, yes, Joe, I agree. And it goes like this. Nobody should make fun of another person's physical disability. Stop. Am I right? Nobody should ever make fun of or laugh at or take a shot at another person's physical disability. Can I get an amen? From every Democrat listening right now, can I get an amen? Hey, MAGA, can I get an amen? From every Trump supporter listening to me right now, can I get an amen? From every American, and Keith tells me right now we have 7 billion people listening. All 7 billion people around the world right now listening to me right now. Can I get an amen from all of you? Can we all agree with what I just said? No one should ever make fun of or take a shot at or laugh at another person's physical disability. Nobody should do that. Do we all agree? No Democrat should do it. No Republican should do it. Now that you're all with me, Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman from Texas, a night or two ago at an event in Washington, D.C., in fact, did take a shot at and make fun of another person's physical disability, namely the governor of Texas. Keith, can you play that?
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot Governor about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Thanks, Keith. There's Jasmine Crockett, a Democratic congresswoman, making fun of the governor of Texas, who's in a wheelchair and has been in a wheelchair for a long, long time because of a terrible, tragic accident a long time ago. There's Jasmine Crockett, Democratic congresswoman, calling the Republican governor of Texas Hot Wheels. He and his Hot Wheels. Making fun of him. Making fun of, taking a shot at his physical disability. I'll add that Jasmine Crockett has a history of doing this with Abbott. Over the last few years, she's taken a few shots at Abbott's physical disability, being in a wheelchair. She's called him Governor Hot Wheels before. Now, before I talk about Trump or anything Trump said or done, again, Democrats, just be with me. No matter what you think of Abbott and Trump's bad, I agree with all that. Remember, you agreed with me a couple minutes ago. Nobody should make fun of or take a shot at somebody else's physical disability. It's not right. It's wrong. It's gross. It's cruel. You all agreed with me, Democrats. So even though someone on your team did it, Jasmine Crockett, and she's done it before, call her out. It's wrong. And yes, I get it, right? This is Trump. Trump has a history of this shit. Donald Trump made fun of, remember that? I wish I had it, Keith. I should have given it to you earlier today. During one of the campaigns or when he was president, just physically, remember he was making fun of a reporter's disability. Donald Trump has a history of doing this. In fact, right, let's all be clear. There is no public figure more divisive than Trump. There is no public figure more cruel than Donald Trump. There is no public figure who takes ugly, mean, cruel, personal shots at other people more than Donald Trump does. I acknowledge all that. All I've said is it's wrong when Trump does it, and it's wrong when Jasmine Crockett does it. And all I've asked is for all of us to hold hands and just agree to that. That's all. Just agree to that. Trump's a son of a bitch. Go after Trump. But just agree to that. Don't go after anybody's physical disability. Don't do that. That's ugly. That's gross. That's cruel. That's wrong. Nobody should do it. And Democrats, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I do. Because Donald Trump has done this for the past 9 to 10 years, taking personal shots at everybody, cruel personal shots at everybody, to a degree we've never seen. And he's gotten away with it. And he's been successful doing it. He's become president twice. He's gained voters. The Republican Party cheers Donald Trump on when Trump takes ugly, cruel, personal shots at people. I feel your pain, Democrats. I get it. This is all Trump's done. And not only has he gotten away with it, he's been successful at it. He's been rewarded for it. But Democrats, don't do that. I mean, these are not normal times, and I want us to fight and resist, right? Not using the normal political playbook. But don't take personal, ugly shots at people. I mean, beat the hell out of Trump. And I know it's tempting because Trump's been cruel, and he's been rewarded for it. And there are Democrats who think, oh, okay, I can be cruel too. No, I want you to be tough. I want you to be righteously angry. I want you to go to political war, but you don't have to be personally cruel to do it. Go after Abbott. Go after Texas Governor Abbott with everything you got. Go after everything he says. Go after everything he does. Go after every cruel thing he says and does. Don't attack the man's physical disability. You can punch the hell out of Abbott without doing that. I want you, Democrats, to be every bit as tough. I want you to be tougher than Trump. I just don't want you to be personally cruel. I want you to show to the American people that you can outwork and you can outfight and you can defeat, you can resist and oppose Trump without being personally cruel. Gunny Ryan, thanks. I'm a disabled Democrat and people make fun of my disability all the time, he said. That's just, I mean, it's not a matter of just drawing lines. Let's just not do that. That's wrong. Look, we have to defeat Trump and Trumpism. That doesn't mean we have to be Trump. Donald Trump is an utterly horrible human being. He's utterly incapable of empathy. That's not you. He lies every time he opens his mouth. That's not you. He's cruel and divisive. He has no shred of decency. That's not you. He wants to be a dictator and authoritarian. That's not you. We can defeat him and defeat what he is and what he stands for without being like him. So Jasmine Crockett, don't be cruel. Don't be ugly and cruel like Trump. Kick Trump in the ass. Fight, fight, fight to defend this country we love. But don't be like Trump. Look, 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 everybody. We all agreed. I got you. All 7 billion agreed. No one should ever make fun of another person's physical disability. No, no, no. Be better than that. Thanks for listening, everybody. No Kings in America. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. There's the website, oneflaginitiative.org, and join the No Kings movement. If you want to shoot me an email about anything, TikTok, my email is thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com. thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh, all one word, @gmail.com. Shoot me an email. These are not normal times, guys. I don't want us acting in normal ways. These times, like when one of our two major political parties is now fully authoritarian and is attacking our democracy and freedom and the rule of law every day, these times we're living in that are not normal, they call for unprecedented measures. And a big part of this show and a big part of everything I do is to describe and outline what those unprecedented measures are that we need to engage in to resist. But one of those unprecedented measures is not to be personally cruel like Trump. Let's beat him, and we will, without being a horrible, cruel human being like he is. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with